and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. Today's video is sponsored by our Amazon affiliate link, which you'll see in the comments section below. So today we are checking back in with a Dumbcane, also known botanically as Dieffenbachia, that was revived, and it looks like back on 6/21/19. So
this guy's name is Humphrey, and he's doing good, as you can see.
I had actually a viewer recently ask about him, so thank you, Moana, for doing that and checking back in with him, reminding me to check back in with him. So he's very happy to be here today. So you can see he's doing really well. He's the foliage is nice and big now and strong, growing well, and good coloring on him. And I recently put some worm compost as a mulch on him, so for a little bit of a fertilizer there, and I will be fertilizing him soon again. So generally speaking, I recommend fertilizing the Dieffenbachia, also called Dumbcane, for the common name. Suggest fertilizing them about every other month. They are pretty big feeders, so that's something to keep in mind, and to keep them especially growing with the big leaves and being nice and healthy and growing quickly for you. They like a pretty bright light, so a medium to bright light is what they need. If you keep them in lower light, they can tend to have problems, and they will also their variegation will go away. Variegation a lot of times will go away, and the plant will just grow green leaves if you're not getting them in enough light, so keep that in mind as well. The watering with the Dieffenbachia is the most important aspect of keeping these plants from not doing well. And they are susceptible to root rot. So I have a series on saving plants from root rot. If you have one that is doing that, take a look at that series. However, it's very important not to let them dry out, because if you do that, then they sometimes don't come back from that. So this is one plant you really want to keep an eye on in terms of watering. You want to water this plant when it's approaching dryness. So on a moisture meter, if you have a moisture meter, and I have a video on using a moisture meter, you want it to be pretty much in the 4 range, 4 or 5, but you don't want to go into the 3, but you don't want it to be too wet either. I would err, however, with this plant on the side of dry rather than wet, because they will quickly succumb to root rot. What happens then is their base will get mushy, and then they're pretty much a goner. So keep that in mind with the watering. Also, always use warm water on these plants. They are a tropical plant. They like warm water. And they also like humid conditions when you can provide some. So misting, putting them on a humidity tray. This one doesn't have the marbles in it right now, but when you have the marbles and things, or gravel in there as well. I have this one actually grouped with a bunch of other plants, and plants will moisturize each other. They will humidify the air for each other. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And I do have a video on that as well. So the humidity up, the fertilizing well, the watering just in that right time period, and with the fertilizer, a fertilizer that is an organic fertilizer, and it's a lot of times with the Dieffenbachia, because they are a little on the tricky side. They in terms of with the watering, and they tend to have a problem. Will also have problems with root rot when there's this too much salinity in the soil. I have another video on the salinity and leaching plants to get rid of the salinity in the soil. So fertilizers do have salts in them as well. So I would suggest when fertilizing to do it at half strength with the Dieffenbachia, and to keep an eye on that as well, in terms of if you think you're getting some salt buildup. One of the signs could be browning leaf tips, which this plant doesn't have, but if you see that, salt buildup could be the issue as well. So make sure that doesn't happen.
It used to be, and this was brought up in the comment section of the video part 1 of Humphrey's recovery
that I had used to have less problems with the Dieffenbachia. I don't know if the strains that you can now get, just they seem to be a lot more susceptible to the root rot than years ago. So this used to be a lot easier plant to grow, but it has become a more difficult plant to grow. Hence the reason why I ended up doing a Dieffenbachia revival as well. So that is about it for the Dieffenbachia. Thank you for stopping by. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.